All right, welcome into another Harmonious at Lunch. I am joined here by someone who I've known for a whole 5 minutes. His name is Scott. Scott, we were talking backstage, and you are in the marketing niche, which at Whadif in our Harmonious architecture, we classify under ubiquity, which we put marketing and sales there. And I already love what you're saying because you are a total disruptor in the space and you say things that honestly, I have never heard from someone else who talks about marketing. So I'm excited to dive in here. But first, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brandon. It's great to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience.
Awesome. So let's dive right in. What you were just saying about small businesses just getting started, or even just under a certain revenue threshold, you really should be looking at marketing, branding, and selling in a different light. So let's start there. Let's start from the small business just getting started or under that $150,000 in revenue. How should those people be looking at marketing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And something that we've noticed from working with a lot of different businesses of different sizes is that those who are just getting started, from going from zero, like you said, to about $100 to $150,000, they get overwhelmed with all the information online that tells them, "Hey, go build a brand. Hey, build a website that's beautiful. Spend 6 months doing it. Go build social presence on every single social media platform." A lot of that, in our opinion, is a little bit too much noise for a beginner business. So what we always recommend small businesses that are getting started, just at zero mark, maybe $50,000 mark a year, up to 150,000, is focus on getting as many phone calls as you can. You need leads as a kind of a marketing instrument for your business to get started and get to a point where you are generating enough money to really start to focus on your business rather than being in your business. So for those who are going from zero to 150,000, I would say find a good leads generation agency, or it can also be word of mouth, just doing flyers and whatnot. You just need to get phone calls and get really good at sales and fulfillment. Now that once you get to $150,000, $100,000, you probably can now afford to hire someone else to do some of the work that you used to do. Let's say, for example, fulfilling the services, going out there doing lawn care or tree removal, or some of the accounting, bookkeeping jobs. That's when you can start to focus on not so much on getting leads as to start to build your own brand.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And, I think we've all heard that when you're starting a business, you need to put cat videos on TikTok so people get a feel of who you are. And
Yeah.
from what it sounds like, I don't think you would agree with that.
No, I think that the only thing you should be concerned with is making revenue.
I
Cat videos are great, and there are people who are natural at it, right? If you are really natural in front of the camera, you feel really good about your own skills and on video and social. By all means, you should be doing it. That's going to be beneficial even if you started early on. By all means, but most of the businesses, they get into the business, they become entrepreneurs because they're good at plumbing, they're good at electrical work, they're good at cutting that trees, they love being outside and doing the jobs like lawn care and landscaping. They just don't have the time or the capacity to go and now learn marketing, or even to look for a reliable marketing agency. When you're just getting started, every dollar counts, and you should invest that money into equipment, into hiring people to get you the jobs, not on figuring out whether the marketing agency is doing a good job for your website or not. They're just not at that stage. And so for us, the focus has always been get as many leads, quality leads as you can, answer those phone calls, get jobs booked, get paid, reinvest back into the leads and back into the calls, and then go and get to a point where you can actually hire people to help you.
Yeah, this is so amazing because I can't believe the number of marketing agencies or marketing experts. It doesn't matter if they're an agency or not, who say you need to start with the pretty websites, the branding videos and all this other stuff. And you hit the nail on the head, which is, most small business owners are the artist. They love what they do. They start a business because they want to own their job essentially, and they don't
Exactly.
necessarily plan out the scale. So when you take on a client on the smaller side, maybe a newer business, smaller business, what are the things that you look for them to have nailed down in order for you to know that you guys can take over and really scale their lead flow?
Yeah, it's very important that a business is comfortable with being on a phone with the customers, right? So you will be surprised how many businesses we send leads to, and that when they pick up a phone, they say, "Hello, hey." Yes, who is this? Right. I mean, you are in business. You got to pick up the phone and be, hello, this is business. How may I help you? What can I do for you today? And being pleasant to talk to, because you're paying for that lead, you're paying for that call, right? So, as a business owner, really figure out how you can learn to sell. I think that's the most important, in my opinion, the most important skill set you have as a business owner is sales. Marketing is great, operations is great, but if you don't know how to sell, you really can't get past that point and generate revenue. So for us, every time businesses start with us, we always tell them that we are responsible for getting you quality leads, but what happens once a phone call takes place, that's on you. You need to know your value proposition, you need to know what it is that you're offering, the pricing. You got to be, good with communication, good with interacting with people. And yeah, those who listen to that advice, they succeed. And we've had businesses that started from literally almost zero 3 years ago, and they're right now $225,000 a year, purely with just our leads that we're generating for them. And every month they come back, they're like, Scott, let's get going, we're growing. And I'm like, you want to take it to the next level? We can 10x the leads. And they're like, I need equipment, I need to go and buy a truck, so I can't do it right now, but it's for sure. That's kind of the opportunities that exist out there once you actually get a good flow of leads and you figure out the rest of your business, like sales and then fulfillment as a result.
Also amazing and unique because the art marketing experts, will put that in quotes, they just focus on what they do. And what we do here at Whadif, the reason we call it the harmonious business architecture is because we've identified the 10 disciplines that are core to every business mastering in order to scale and succeed. So I already mentioned ubiquity. That's where we put marketing and sales being all places your ideal avatar is and showing up there consistently.
Yep.
A lot of marketing experts disagree with that. They say, no, marketing and sales is entirely different. So again, what you're saying is you recognize that the only reason to market is if you can sell, because the two go hand in hand. But what you're also touching on is the rest of the business, the fulfillment, the operations, the leadership of the business. How much of that do you look at that's already in place before you will take on a client?
So as a lead generation business, we obviously give a disclaimer at the beginning to the business owner. If you don't have those parts, you're probably going to fail. But if you want to buy the leads, we will sell them to you, right? If you want to learn the hard way, by all means. But this is a disclaimer. You better have those parts. Now, how important is it? I'll tell you from personal experience is that I get excited about starting businesses myself. So we started yoga business, we started 3D printing business. We start them all the time because we know how to get leads, right? And right now I could start 10, 15 businesses because we're already generating leads in those niches. My problem, we don't know how to fulfill those leads. I don't know how to cut a tree down. I have no idea how to do landscaping or how to put a fence around the property. So it's very important to actually be able to do that type of service and be good at it, because then people will come back and they will leave negative reviews if you're not doing a good job. And we've seen that a lot, is that we'll provide you quality lead, but if you didn't provide a quality service, it fires back at you. So for us, it's very important that businesses also understand, we send you a lead, we send you the phone numbers, the information, whatever you need. And then you should collect that information and you should store it somewhere in your customer relationship management platform, because you want to reactivate those customers next year. You want to reach out to them. You paid for it now. Why not to squeeze as much as you can out of those leads in the next 5 years? You're looking at lifetime value of those customers. And we kind of try to educate that, yes, the lead might cost you $20, $50, $100. But if you look at the lifetime value and you're making $5,000, $10,000 off of it over the course of the next 5 years, it's totally worth it. It's pennies on a dollar.
Yeah, I love how you look long-term too with your clients. I think that's so important. It's not just leads today, dollars today, and then nothing tomorrow. You're running a business. You're building a relationship. It's so important to understand what that costs and also the revenue that comes with it. So I want to, at the end of this episode, before we wrap up, I want to get to some actionable strategies that entrepreneurs and business owners can get to kind of up level their marketing. But first, I want to talk about you. So I'm going to put your website on the screen here. If people want to check you out, tell me a little bit about, you have a unique business model in that you have a lot of businesses. So tell me a little bit about what you have going on in your businesses and how you help with marketing.
Yeah. So I think if you listen to majority of entrepreneurs, they will always tell you focus on one thing and become really good at it, like one business. The way I look at it is that I'm really good at marketing, and that's all we do. So we do have multiple business in marketing niche, like we have SEO and content marketing services for enterprise level. So we offer actual services months to months on 12 months contracts, where we do services, marketing services on their websites, right? So, but when it comes to small businesses, because the budgets are smaller, there's a lot more back and forth. We just don't believe in service, offering services, and rather offering leads. And that's where Leader.io comes in, is that we give customer exactly what they want, which is a phone call. That's what you want. That's what you want. That's the stage you're in. Get the phone call, close it. Don't worry about me improving your website, because if we're going to go down that path, it's going to take 6 to 8 months to see any kind of benefits from SEO. And you might not just be in business by that time because you haven't received a single phone call, right? And all the other businesses that we're in, like yoga and 3D printing and tree removal and whatnot, all those businesses, we do exactly the same thing. We do marketing. We generate leads, we funnel them into a customer relationship management platform, we create automation, we set up email sequences to make sure that we can activate those customers and get more money, generate more revenue generated over the course of 2, 3, 5 years, with a goal of exiting a business eventually and selling it out to bigger players in the market. So we do want to build systems and procedures and put them in place so that it looks attractive to bigger players to acquire business. So that's something that actually happens naturally when we work with small businesses. Once they get to that $150,000, $200,000 mark, they look at me and they say, Scott, what if you get a heart attack tomorrow and you disappear, and all of these leads, I hired 2 guys to help me, and then everybody is struggling, and there's no leads coming in. So that's when we usually start a conversation with a business owner. Hey, we don't want to do services, but what we can do is we can take equity in your business in return for us handling that 1/3 of the business, which is marketing. We'll pump leads all to you. There's not going to be any competitors in that particular market for that particular service, but we're becoming part owners, and we become invested and interested in growing your business, with hopefully a goal of whether you're acquiring us after 5 years or the business overall gets acquired by somebody else. So that's kind of the natural progression that always happens. Businesses always start to ask those questions because they become successful and they start to really become concerned about the future, about the employees that they've hired, about their own stability, right? And as we chat a little bit at the beginning, when businesses get to $1 million mark, some of them become very, very business savvy, and basically what they say is that, hey, we're doing services for our own business, like marketing services, optimizing our websites, building our own personal brands, doing videos, but I want to buy all your leads so that none of my competitors could buy leads from you. I want to suck all the air out of the opportunity and pretty much be the only player in the market to make sure that we dominate and grow. Again, different mindsets, kind of different stages of the business, but you have to understand that philosophy, that mindset, in order to, I think, grow successfully and get from one stage to another.
I agree. And it sounds harsh to say you're sucking the air out of the rest of the competitors, whether local
Yeah.
or if you're on an online space nationally, internationally. But I find that to get to $1 million business, you don't get there by accident, first of all, whether you're
Yeah.
paying for leads or not. So you're doing something right. Hopefully you're fulfilling the product. You have great customer reviews. I take on the philosophy of you have a responsibility to serve the customer. Why not put down the other competitors who may not be doing as good of a job as you? So, it may sound harsh, but that's the logical progression of a business.
Yeah, you have responsibility to the customer, but you also have responsibility to people who work for you.
Yeah.
Right, they depend on your business to be successful. So you've hired people in order to get to that $1 million, $2 million mark, and now you're responsible for putting bread on their table. So I think that there is nothing wrong with doing that. Business is business, and obviously you can build partnerships and all sorts of kind of subcontracting services and whatnot. There's a lot of opportunities to help the community in other ways, but yes, it's I don't believe it's wrong. I believe it's just a different mindset, and you have responsibilities, and you're taking care of those responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, tell me who is the type of business, not the industry, but who are the people that you maybe don't enjoy working with as entrepreneurs, business owners? What are the people who don't have success with marketing with you?
Yeah, I think entrepreneurs who have a lot of ego and who think they know everything are usually the ones that are most difficult to work with. And what they tend to do is that they don't know what they don't know, and they don't acknowledge that fact, and then they demand things that are just not reasonable. So we don't really deal with those people. If we realize that someone is not good as not a good client, we just kind of move on. We tell them, hey, this partnership is not working for you. Then maybe there's someone else who can help you with your business, but it's not us, right? For us, we know that there are business out there who are hungry. There are entrepreneurs out there who are hungry, who want to succeed. And if we give them that opportunity to succeed, I mean, they'll be able to grow within a year or two, and all of us are going to be happy as a result of that.
Yeah, that's great. Especially again, thinking long term, thinking about scaling and then
Exactly.
exiting potentially. You want someone who's going to be on the same track as you and you're not fighting head to
Yes.
head all the way along. So I'm going to put this on the screen here. For those of you watching, if you want to see, if you think you need marketing help, I want you to take our assessment, the BAD. It will tell you where you're weakest in the 10 disciplines of the harmonious business architecture. And then make sure you put in there that you are watching this episode. If you're lowest in marketing, you need marketing help, we want to get you connected with Scott and get you the marketing help that your business needs. So before I let you go, I want to figure out, before you work with somebody or gearing up to start working with a company, what are some things they can do themselves to make sure that when they bring you on board, whether it's just buying leads or on the agency side, what do you love to see in place, or what can a small business owner do to maybe get the wheels turning on their marketing so that when you take over, it's just pedal to the metal and they get leads as fast as they possibly can?
Yeah, it's best if the business is already clear on what they want to offer as a service, right? So when someone is just getting started, they're brand new, they think that they can do this and this and this and that. There's like 500 different services that they think they can offer. I would say pick one and then let's double down on that. And once you're successful at it, once you have bandwidths and maybe better equipment, we can start to add additional services after that. So be very clear on what it is that you're really good at, because if you are not good at what you're offering, it's going to show through and you're just not going to get value out of the leads we are generating for you, because we can generate those leads for you, with the exception of some of the niches where there are certain legal requirements like real estate and insurance and mortgage. Those are just very expensive and very difficult to enter. But most of the home services and whatnot, they're fairly easy to get started with. So yeah, figure out what it is that you really want to do. It's good if you have some customers that you've already serviced in the past, so you have experience and understanding of what people want when they call and what customers want when they call, so that you're not surprised when you're picking up that call, because we do care for our clients to make sure that every lead they get, they actually can turn into a good paying customer as a result. And depending on the niche, but we see 50-70% conversion rates off of the leads. So it's, if you're good at what you do, it really shows.
That's awesome. And it's ironic that you said that, because what we find, and the reason we have these 10 disciplines, when most people come in, they take that assessment, we find that the average score in, for us, the foundational discipline, which is navigation, or what traditionally would be called strategic planning in business,
Yeah.
is the lowest score, or it's at least lacking significantly, meaning the business and the business owner are not confident and zeroed in on what they do as a business and who they
Yeah.
serve.
Yeah.
And it blows
Exactly.
my mind every single time. Like, you've been in business 15 years and you don't have a clearly defined customer
Yeah.
avatar. It's like, what are you doing?
There are business out there like that. Yes. And I think that it's because there's so much noise, right? We have access to YouTube and there's just so many opportunities that people see out there. They're like, I really want to get this one done and that one done, and I can do this. Unfortunately, you won't really know if you're really good at it unless you market test it. So you gotta go live with it, and you gotta get real customers and actually become good at it, and then you'll know what's what in terms of your business and your offering.
Yeah, this was fantastic, and I appreciate the clarity and the brutal honesty around marketing that I said most people don't offer. So Scott's website, again, on the screen here, Liro.io. Please go check him out. Take our survey, see if you need help in ubiquity, or at least clarify your message before you reach out. But again, just illustrating the dynamics that are at play in the Harmonious architecture. You see, we're talking about navigation. We're talking about ultimately ubiquity in your marketing, but what are the other areas it touches? Scott touched on fulfillment, leadership, all these different things, navigation, what needs to be present for your marketing to be truly effective. There is no discipline in business that is siloed and independent of any other discipline. Everything touches. That's why the architecture is so important. It's the lens to look at your business through so you can truly and effectively scale. Scott, I want to thank you for coming. This has been a phenomenal talk. Thank you so much for giving your time here. Any last words you want to share with the audience, and then we'll wrap this up and let you go.
No, I just want to say thank you. I'm truly grateful for having the opportunity to chat with you and deliver the message to your audience, to everyone else. Being an entrepreneur is a tough task. It's 24/7 job. You go to bed with responsibilities on your shoulders. You wake up with it. You really need to make sure that you find folks like Brandon and the systems that they offer, and make sure that you follow those, because there is a roadmap. There is really a roadmap. Once you get through it 100 times, you can really retroactively see what's what. So put your trust in a system and work your way through it, and best of luck.
Yeah, I can tell you live by those words. There is a roadmap. We'd love to help you. Scott would love to help you too. Let's get this done the easy way, right? All right. Thanks for watching out there. Thank you for coming, Scott. I appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one.